Hi, in today's digital environment, everybody wants to have a presence in the digital ecosystem. And that's your digital identity. That's your identity that defines who you are, what your personality is. Whether it's just your brand, whether it's your social personality, whether it's your professional acumen or persona per se. But what happens if your digital identity is stolen? Now that doesn't happen to everybody, but it's capable of being happening to just about anybody on the street. And that's the reason why digital identity as a crime in terms of digital theft of identity is becoming increasingly more relevant as time is passing by. Now, in case if you find that your digital identity is stolen, what do you need to do? Clearly, a couple of steps you need to do right away. The first biggest step is to know that your digital identity has been stolen. Number two, once you know that this has been done, clearly you also need to know that in India, stealing of digital identity or theft of digital identity is a distinct cybercrime under Section 66C of the Indian Information Technology Act 2000. This is punishable with 3 years imprisonment as also a fine of 1 lakh rupees. Clearly, once you find that your digital identity has been stolen or has been misused, you need to immediately report this to the law enforcement agencies. You can go to your local police station and report about this identity theft. You can also go to the cybercrime cells in your respective cities and report about such identity theft, and they are duty bound to register a case on your complaint. In case you find that you have reported and still there is some danger, you have still some further remedies. There is an Indian statutory authority known as the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, or ICERT. ICERT has been made the nodal agency for cyber security in India. Under the Information Technology Act 2000, you can also report about your identity theft to the ICERT or Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, because this is a kind of a cyber security breach, and that's the kind of work in which ICERT is dedicatedly working on. Further, if you're doing any internet-related transactions, you must instantaneously inform and notify all the relevant service providers in this regard. So whether it's your bank, from where you're getting your banking internet transactions, or whether it is any other credit or debit card institution which is providing you the credit or debit cards for purposes of doing online transactions, you need to instantaneously notify them that there has been a theft of your digital identity or identity theft, and that they need to take all appropriate steps to ensure that further damage could not or should not happen thanks to the identity theft that's taken place. Finally, you will also have to be very, very careful when you next go ahead and try to make another digital identity. As far as possible, if you can actually know the originating internet protocol address of the relevant computer from where your identity has been stolen, that becomes a huge step for the law enforcement for the purposes of determining who your identity thief is. In case if the said IP address is located outside the territorial boundaries of your country, then there could be challenges of jurisdiction. But the next time you create your new digital identity, make sure that you please keep it as secure as you would keep your physical world belongings. As far as possible, do not use your digital identity on cyber cafe or public cafes computer systems, because there could be potentially a large amount of malware or spyware therein. And finally, please ensure that your own computer is well secure. Have a good antivirus program. There are a large number of free antivirus programs available on the internet. Also have a good exercise for sanitizing your system per se. If you have a good firewall, it's going to be even more helpful. Bottom line is, your digital identity is not permanent. It is requiring constant attention, constant due care, and all steps necessary to protect its security and its inherent capability. And for that, you alone are going to be responsible. So the next time you deal with your digital identity, be careful. It's not a light thing to deal with. It's one thing that can change a lifetime.